In 2019, I created a blog on LinkedIn about managed print services. Fast forward 5 years to 2024, and it is still very relevant today. When you say the words managed print service, MPS, to some organizations, they recoil in horror. To others, this has been a fantastic service improvement change and a great cost-saving exercise. It may even be something that your organization is investigating as we speak. If you are thinking about a managed print service, then you may not have thought about the role IT Asset Management, ITAM, can play and the value it can bring. Spoiler alert, ITAM can help massively. Unless your organization has gone totally paperless, you will see a number of printers throughout your office. Printers are an expensive asset, not just from the kit itself, but also the commodities that require regular replenishment, such as paper, ink, and also support in case things go wrong, which can happen a lot depending on the printer and the age. There are a number of elements to an MPS, and some vendors even let you pick and mix what you want your service to look like. The core basis of an MPS is that it is managed and controlled by an external supplier to help reduce the current levels of printing to more cost-effective and eco-friendly way. They effectively own the operation and support of the hardware itself, including regular servicing, break-fix support, and also user support in case there are any questions on how to use the new printer or service. Organizations tend to go down the MPS route to reduce the number of company-owned printers and also reduce the amount of money being spent on printing and printers annually. Having a rollout of shiny new printers that are far more reliable and do a lot more whilst being seemingly cheaper is quite rightly an attractive option. MPS also has the potential to free up a lot of your service desk's time. "I can't print" or "the printer won't work" are some of the printing-related calls that your typical service desk receive on a daily basis. A lot of MPS also get alerts when your printers are running out of ink and automatically send you cartridges. I wish I had that service for my printer at home instead of having to hunt around the various supermarkets for a cartridge code that doesn't seem to exist anymore. Cost optimization. When an organization purchases and owns their own printers, they have to factor in a number of initial and ongoing costs. Total cost of ownership, cost of the physical printer, cost of any additional yearly support, installation costs, potentially if this hasn't been factored in with the purchase of the printer, break-fix costs, replacement costs, disposal costs, paper costs, ink toner costs. Now, when you think about an organization with multiple offices spread across multiple floors within an office and each floor having 2 printers, you start to see the management nightmare and a scale of the cost of owning printers. Under a MPS, your overall costs look like this. Yearly cost of MPS. Paper. Points 1, 6, and 8 in the previous list are all included in the yearly MPS cost. Because of that, the costs can actually be significantly less than what you are currently paying. The case for savings is definitely there, but migrating to a MPS can be a long and complicated process with a lot of logistical planning and training required. It's not a quick cost savings win for your ITAM team. How ITAM can support MPS? Just because the organization doesn't actually own the printers as an asset, they still need to manage the hardware. The same principle as software as a service. Treat the printers like you would any other asset and make sure it is included in your asset register and CMDB. Some printers can even report into technologies like Snow and Flexera, so it's definitely worth investigating if you can manage the life cycle of your new asset via your ITAM tool. Some of the MPS providers use their own asset tagging technologies, so don't like you to use your own asset tags. That's fine. You'll just have to accept that and add the asset to your asset register manually. If you can use your own asset tags, then I strongly suggest you include your MPS printers in your asset tagging activities. If you have RFID tags with barcodes, then you can scan the asset tag and it'll automatically be added to your asset register/database so you can manage the printer effectively. ITAM can also help on the process side of things, especially when it comes to break-fix or when the contract for the asset expires and you're required to send it back or replace it with a new one. Whilst the in-house ownership for the service of the printers doesn't belong within the ITAM team, they can still support the business in ensuring the physical asset is managed and treated correctly. Plan B. With any kind of as-a-service contract, you need a Plan B. This should be in place in the event that, for whatever reason, you decide not to continue with a MPS at the end of the contract. This plan needs to be in place as a just-in-case, so that you can use it in the event of that happening to ensure that your users are not affected or have no print capabilities during the transition. Printing is crucial for some people, so for them not to have the ability to print can cause significant problems. Not really part of Plan B, but I would suggest having regular service review meetings with your MPS provider just to keep the relationship strong and go over any issues or outstanding issues you may be having with the printers or the service. This is definitely something ITAM should attend, but needs to be driven by the service management team as they will know what kind of tickets have been logged against your new printers. MPS is an interesting subject and one that may not be on many ITAM professionals' radar. Whilst it may not be relevant for all ITAM teams, it's something that we should be aware of as it's another area in which that ITAM can add value. I'd love to hear your experiences with Managed Print Services, MPS, and how your ITAM team has helped or supported the transition, and how you're actively managing those printers from an ITAM point of view.